This time was coming soon. Gonna get dark, babe, before the noon.
You know, if you watched my last video, you saw Kenny and you saw this rig here. But if you didn't, I'm not going to spoil it. So, Kenny was part of our solar install team. I had the best time. I mean, these individuals, as you saw from my last video, I probably almost got teared up. At just
no, Tim, I had the best time. You may have had the second best time.
But there is a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about. First of all, where I'm sitting right now is not your traditional sticks and bricks. It is not your traditional tiny home.
Not as much as it looks like it,
no,
maybe, huh?
There's a couple of... Well, first of all, let me ask you, how long have you lived here?
I have been here since yesterday afternoon at 4:30, barely.
Okay. And where are we?
We would be at the Whitewater Casino. I told him I'd give him
Bluewater. You don't even know where you live.
Oh, Bluewater. I told the security guy drove by, I told him I'd give a shout out to the casino for being so nice to allow people to park their rigs here, and they're very accommodating people, and he was the nicest guy. And now I call it the Whitewater, and it's actually the Blue Water.
Call it whatever you want. It's home.
Well, I guess
right?
Whitewater would, no, it's the Colorado River's right behind us. It's more like Blue Water. It might be more like brown. They should have called it the Brown
Water Casino. Yeah, that's kind of vile, actually, but let's not go there. It's home. It's home nonetheless. Yeah. So this is probably the only. Am I wrong? If we look around, is this the only sticks and bricks home at the Blue Water Casino?
We would be the only place that looks like a sticks and bricks anyway. So actually, sticks. Yeah, probably. And not as many sticks and bricks as you might imagine, but the rest of them are tin, metal, and
yeah. No. This stands out, and. It stood out since the day that I saw it. There's been a line of individuals wanting to get a tour, and that's because we are sitting in a tiny home built on an old RV chassis of a 70s era Dodge tradesman van. I think
exactly. Actually, they call this the Sportsman, but it's just like the Tradesman.
Okay.
But, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I don't know the difference.
So it is a. Yeah, I don't even know how to articulate this. Every time somebody saw this at the van build, they would stop and they would go, "Oh my God, check that out!" And you were always in the periphery, and I don't know how many tours you gave of this thing, but
I tell you what, though, I loved it. I mean, it's just so great to get that kind of attention. It really is, and I'm not that outgoing. I kind of stand up, but when I'm really very social. But I need somebody to come up to me and say
sort of
hi.
prompt you for that?
I'm not going to walk up to somebody and say hi, but if somebody walks up to me and say
never
hi,
would have known.
We have the best time. You wouldn't have known that, right?
No,
the way I talk, you'd think I'd talk to strangers.
It's been hysterical, yeah, because there's always this line of individuals. But there's a side of this whole thing that I wanted to focus on more than others. There are other tour videos out there of this.
Yep.
I don't know what to call it. It's not an RV.
This thing, unique tiny home. Well, yeah.
You haven't named it yet?
I've named it. Named it the Ego.
The Ego.
It's my great big ego. We may get to that later too, and I'll tell you.
What was unique to me is that most people that got to meet you, you were the tour guide, and everybody was enthusiastic and blown away by what it is you'd done. But after working with you for a couple of weeks, I got to see, got to know you, and this is a byproduct of that twisted mind. And so what I was hoping to do is talk about a couple of things.
That's one way to say it.
Yeah, I wanted to know why.
Yeah, right. That's what one guy said that to me. I mean, I was, and normally that question doesn't actually come up.
Yeah.
I mean, for some reason, but the guy says, "So, why? What was?" I said, it just happened. I wanted to build this thing out of styrofoam, and I just couldn't stop myself. And that's honest to God the truth. And then I tell people I found these French doors at the Restore, and I had to build something that went with them.
Yeah, so it probably didn't start with a CAD drawing, is what you're suggesting, right?
No real planning at all. Although, if you look at the build pictures, the first thing that's up is just the frame around this. There's nothing but wood standing up on this, and then the styrofoam floor, and then the flooring, and then these wall panels.
Well, wait a second. You just said something, though.
Yeah.
And I think you gave away a secret here. That's just it. What is this made out of?
It is 2-inch extruded styrofoam, or what they call it, extruded polystyrene, and it's that pink stuff or that blue stuff that you see down at the lumber yard. And it's made out of that. When you say that, because a lot of people say, well, what's inside your walls? Most people got sticks. You talk about sticks and bricks, you got stud walls. And I realize when I say it's made out of styrofoam, most people kind of go, what? Well, I got wood framing around here, but the rest of it is just sheets of styrofoam glued together with, and then I love my line, Gorilla Glue and great stuff are, and some guy adds, and Cheese Whiz, right? And I go, no, Gorilla Glue and great stuff and Cheese Whiz.
No, I can see that you use Cheese Whiz as caulking. I can see that.
Exactly.
No, this is just insane. And what I found, again, fascinating is that, and we joked about it. We had a good time. But first of all, you deserve whatever positive attention you get out of this. I can see that, I don't care if you're 4 years old or whether you're 40 or whether you're 90. People see this, and everybody gets something different out of it.
Well, I figured this is my big ego. Anybody who doesn't appreciate it's got their own big ego. They're protected somewhere.
This is just, again, show the world. But no, you had mentioned too, though, that you were not particularly outgoing or by nature or an extrovert, but this sort of opens the doors for communication.
Right.
And I had asked you once before, too, because, again, I had witnesses at the van build and everybody wanting to get a hold of you. Can I peek inside? What's the story? Mm-hmm. But you run into this all over the place, whether you're in a Safeway parking lot or a Walmart parking lot.
Or a casino parking lot.
There was a line of people here just
there
earlier.
There was already a lady taking, and people asked me, can I take pictures? And I said, yeah.
No, this is private property. Right. I like my privacy.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Please gratify my ego.
No, but the other thing I keep trying to articulate to people during this journey that I'm on is, people do this for all different kinds of reasons. And it didn't sound like you were like a nomad for a very long period of time. No. This is, again, something that you manifested after retirement, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it did start out with this little camper I built out of styrofoam. Okay. And I put it on the back of my truck, and I traveled around. I didn't camp in it much, but I went out to see my family. I went to New York, did some things, Maine and around, out to West Coast about 2 or 3 times. But really, actually just sitting and, using as the vehicle. I stay with family or do something other than actually camping.
Yeah.
So for me, it was more about the building project. But what it's turned into is, I love this. I had no idea,
I love it too.
I would just be, you're a traveling guy. I see that, to me, it's like I like to work on little projects. I'm just solitary, like I say, the part of not being socialist. I love working on projects, so I could obsess over this thing. But then you get out here, and it's like a relief. It's all of a sudden, I can't work on it right now. I get to go finally ride the bike or take a deep breath or, sit on the porch and drink coffee.
Yeah, it was just hysterical. I was just seeing you and just go, I just took a shower. I keep having this vision of you coming out here with like a smoking jacket and a pipe or something. It's just too funny.
You haven't seen me in my bathrobe because I will come out here in my bathrobe.
I think I did see that actually.
Oh yeah, no, in the desert it does.
In the desert, what happens in the desert stays in the desert. Yeah.
It does get much more comfortable.
So what would you say to people who are probably empty nesters, right? Pre-retirement, post-retirement, and they feel like they're just waiting to for something to manifest, something to happen.
Yeah, let's see. I'm thinking I don't
Because
want.
I don't get the idea that you're the sit-at-home vegetation binge watching Gilmore Girls kind of guy. Right?
I can hardly do. I mean, I can hardly sit through a whole movie most of the time. I mean, there's going to be a time I got to sort of get back to that. But I'm not wanting to steal anybody's ad line. But what I would say to most people that are just thinking about the old just do it,
Yeah.
Put a little swoosh on your sock. Oh wait, maybe I got my swishies. Yeah, look at there. I got my swishy on my
You're
sock.
branded.
I'm ready. I'm ready to just do it, man.
Sponsored by Nike.
Exactly. Just do it.
Oh, that's
just
too funny.
do it. Do what your passion is. I mean, if you're a fisherman, get away to, just get out, move around,
Well,
find things.
Would you say that there's a cookie cutter nomad?
No, I've met so many interesting people, and everybody is unique and interesting.
Yeah.
From your one neighbor to your next neighbor is entirely different people.
It is.
And a lot of people are out for different reasons, but I think most of them find the community. I mean, the event, like Jamie's Van Build, the sense of community that all those people you're just immediate friends with, 100 people, or 200, 500, 1,000. It was like the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous last year. Everybody was just friends, and they were just nice as they could be. And everybody was happy, too. I mean, as far as I could tell, I didn't, meet people, have their own stuff. But
I assume that there are people that, of course, live this way as a matter of consequence, and they probably have a different opinion.
Right.
But then there are others who just sort of shed material items, and when you're not keeping score by what kind of rig you have or whatever, the conversation changes.
The lady that was here this morning asked me what I had in this, and I said, before the lithium batteries and the solar panels, I have $6,000 in this entire build up till $2,000. Well, and tires $1,200, but just the whole. I mean, but that and 6 months of labor, I guess, could count as part.
There's
of
a downside, though. There is a downside because one of these days you're going to surrender this ride, right? And somebody else will take possession of it.
I don't think so.
And somebody's going to go, Kenny, are you in? And they go, Kenny doesn't live here anymore.
No, I'm going to be buried in it. Sorry. It's going down with me. Maybe I can make a mausoleum out of it at the end.
I think that would be
brilliant. Doesn't it look kind of like a mausoleum, right? I mean, this cedar chest is big enough to be a coffin. I was almost going to...
I don't want to hear that, man. I don't want to hear that.
It's not only almost.
I'm not camping with you alone again.
It actually is old.
Well, it ain't cheap being poor, and I can't take any more of the tickets and the taxes and the fees. I work hard for my pay, and they take it away like they don't care. I got a family to feed. They cut my shifts at the mill. I fell behind on my bills, and when you're late, they try to charge you more money. They were riding my back, so I just cut them a check. Then the bank charged me a low balance fee. Yeah, it ain't cheap being poor. It ain't cheap being poor. No, it ain't cheap being poor.
All right.
Toast.
He switched to beer. He did. He's a wild man.
It's 8 o'clock somewhere.
No, I when it comes to to why people do this, it's interesting because even though I've got a fledgling channel, I get comments about, well, people discount. Well, people are just doing this or they're just this way, and I don't know how to articulate to people that anybody can shed material items. Anybody can have a passion for travel, and to a large degree, we joke a lot of the time, but there are stressors out here, right? It can be stressful, but they typically are short-term stressors versus long-term stressors. And those you get over reasonably quick. Where am I going to get water, laundry, things like that? That solves itself within oftentimes minutes or within a day versus the grander problems that people have that are associated with owning stuff. And so the conversations change. And
right, yes. That's what happens. Yeah, people don't think about their next house payment.
Yeah.
They can talk about, they don't have to worry about going to work maybe in the morning, and it's like being on vacation. It really is, and people are all relaxed, and like I said, I think they're happy when they're out there on without the normal restraints of life, like you're saying. It just changes it, and you can just have a casual, enjoyable time and not worry about too much. Other than, like you said, maybe getting water at some point.
I think, though, that I would encourage anybody of any age, but certainly I started to feel that myself because I worked from home for a number of years, started to feel disconnected. Everything was about work, and then when I was turned off, my life sort of turned off. And I worry that sometimes people who have careers that end through retirement, if they feel like maybe they've been turned off to a large degree.
My entire social life revolved around my job. Of course, I had my family, but mostly it was all projects on the side, things I was working on around the house. And I was perfectly happy with that because I had a very busy social activity at life. Being a voc rehab counselor, you talk to people every day.
Yeah.
People are coming to you with all kinds of interesting circumstances, and you can help them work through problems. And it was really a great, fun job. But after that happened, after that was over, I was like, I needed something more than just projects to fill my day, And
Yeah. Well, but it's interesting because you could just as easily be sitting home watching TV right now, but instead the overarching narrative here is that I built a house out of styrofoam.
Now I have to use it.
Now I got to use it, and now I'm in a parking lot in the casino. We have a couple of individuals actually watching us do this interview, and then when we get done with this, there's going to be another line that forms, and you're going to have to give more tours.
I'll have to.
And that is...
I'll have to. I'll love to. I can't wait. I went, like you said, I pull into the parking lot at the grocery store, and I can't even get into the store before somebody's talking to me. I can't come out of the store without people standing around looking. But I don't mind that a bit. Sometimes I have places to go, but not that often, right?
Oh, man.
I like this.
Well, I was, like I said before, the people, they see this and they meet you. And while I did see this, I got the opportunity to meet you. And not only are you like a mad scientist, you have this boundless energy, and you're friendly and you're generous. And that's often consistent with people that I meet that do this. And so when we go to things like the van build and somebody wants to distill it down into something that it's not, it's like, no, that's the beauty of this. There is no litmus test. There is no political orientation. There is no biographical sort of requirement here. You can do this just because you're fulfilling your dream.
And yes, and when you think about the number and the variety of people that we did solar installations for, it was just a complete. You couldn't categorize them. You can't put anybody into this kind of a box. Of course, you can't really anywhere, but you'd like to think you can.
Yeah.
It simplifies your life if you think that all these people are like something, but they're not. We all got to appreciate the uniqueness of each individual and find the things that in them. So when people come to me and I'm bragging about my house, I really realize I want to talk to them about what they're doing. I had a road atlas at the RTR, and I wanted to go, where's some place that you've been that I ought to go, because I'm new to this business and I need to. And so we had a lot of fun talking about their travels, and everybody's had their own experiences and their own backgrounds, and it just
But you could have shown up at this event with this ego of yours. Right?
Yeah.
And you could have not volunteered a minute, and yet you were busy the entire time. So I don't think that was your quest for attention, because if it was a quest for attention, you could have just sat there and it would have come to you. You would have gotten more attention had you not been volunteering.
No, that's right. My ego is when you got enough ego
to go around.
You don't got to go around looking to have somebody approve of you, because you just got to approve of yourself, and you got to accept your position in life, and not worry about having somebody tell you how cool you are, because that doesn't happen anymore.
Well, look, you're a celebrity as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
although you do have a nickname now, and if I haven't told you, I'll tell you now. You're like a spider monkey. There's a time lapse in the last video where you just see Kenny like going up on this Class A RV, just and that was him for like 2 weeks, just climbing everything, and just boundless energy. And I have to think that part of that is obviously part of your biography, but also just part of the freedom that you have now. And so it's been a pleasure. It really has.
And the truth is, part of the anxiety of having a really big job and a limited amount of time to do it, and you just got it. I mean, I just keep going, oh no, we got it.
Fighting boundless boredom. I love it. Look, man, thanks for taking the time with me. I appreciate it.
I have enjoyed working with you. I certainly enjoyed the opportunity this morning to sit out on the deck and have a coffee. Or
Yeah,
both.
so coming to you not quite live from the Blue Water, Black Water, Brown Water Casino.
Yellow water. I'm
Yellow-
going with yellow water.
Yeah. The Tim and Kenny show, I think.
There you go. We'll have to do our next routine.
Well, you know,
with a little more-
there's South Park characters for each of us, right? Timmy and then Kenny too, right?
We got a Kenny. Yeah, Kenny was kind of an unfortunate character. In
Well,
this
so was
show.
Timmy.
Yeah, well, they all were.
Yeah.
weren't they?
All right. Find out.
I got the cock-doodle devil in my left hand. I got the balls of the Lord in my right hand. In my teeth I got the clip of the mother of man. I eat the soul with a spoon in a star the land. I've been a washed, all down with dirt, a brain a washed. In my soul a hearse up in gas, with the new air up in gas, with the new I got the apple off a snake in a fist fight, and there ain't nothing that I done that felt so right. I've been slow-moed into romance. I flipped my hat and then I told my pants.